Ladies and gentlemen, let us take a moment to explore why those who seem to embody kindness and warmth often find themselves standing alone. It is not because kindness is a flaw, but because there is a deeper lesson to uncover. The idea of being nice is often celebrated as a virtue, a trait that brings harmony to relationships and fosters goodwill among people. However, the true essence of niceness goes deeper than just being agreeable or accommodating. It is not merely about pleasing others or avoiding confrontation, but about embodying genuine kindness rooted in self-awareness and authenticity. Misunderstanding this can lead to challenges, particularly for those who identify as nice people but feel unfulfilled or isolated in their relationships. Being nice is frequently confused with people-pleasing, a behavior driven by the need for external validation. Many individuals grow up learning that being nice earns approval and acceptance, creating a habit of putting others' needs before their own. This behavior may initially seem positive as it avoids conflict and creates a sense of harmony. But when niceness becomes an unconscious pattern, it often comes at the expense of the individual's own needs and desires. Over time, this imbalance can lead to feelings of resentment, exhaustion, and loneliness. True kindness, on the other hand, stems from a place of inner strength and self-worth. It is about showing compassion and generosity while maintaining respect for oneself. This form of kindness is not transactional. It does not seek validation or expect something in return. When someone operates from this space, their actions are not driven by fear or insecurity, but by a genuine desire to connect and uplift. This distinction is critical because it determines whether niceness enriches relationships or creates hidden emotional barriers. Another important aspect to consider is that being overly nice can sometimes make individuals susceptible to manipulation or exploitation. In their effort to avoid conflict or rejection, nice people may struggle to assert themselves or express their true feelings. This can lead to relationships where their kindness is taken for granted and their needs are consistently overlooked. Over time, such dynamics can leave the nice person feeling unappreciated and disconnected. The perception of niceness can also influence how others respond. People often respect those who balance kindness with confidence and self-respect. When niceness is paired with a lack of boundaries, it may unintentionally signal to others that the individual does not value themselves fully. This can create a dynamic where their kindness is not reciprocated or valued as deeply as it should be. It is essential to understand that niceness is not inherently a problem. The issue arises when it becomes a mask for deeper insecurities or a way to avoid addressing uncomfortable emotions. Genuine kindness flourishes when it is balanced with self-respect and a clear sense of personal boundaries. This balance allows individuals to nurture relationships that are both healthy and mutually fulfilling. By redefining what it means to be nice, one can move from a place of seeking approval to a place of authentic connection. Niceness, when grounded in self-awareness, becomes a powerful tool for fostering meaningful relationships. It allows individuals to give freely without losing themselves in the process. This shift not only enhances the quality of their interactions, but also ensures that their kindness is appreciated and reciprocated in ways that truly matter. Self-worth and boundaries are two pillars that define the quality of our relationships and our overall sense of fulfillment in life. For those who consider themselves nice people, these concepts often take a back seat, as their focus tends to be on accommodating others and avoiding conflict. While this approach may initially create the appearance of harmony, it can gradually erode the foundation of their emotional well-being and lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness. When we talk about self-worth, we refer to the intrinsic value each person has, independent of external validation or achievements. It is the belief that we are deserving of love, respect, and kindness simply because we exist. For nice people, this sense of self-worth can sometimes become intertwined with their ability to please others. They may feel that their value lies in how much they can give, how agreeable they can be, or how easily they can adapt to others' needs. This perspective, though well-intentioned, creates an imbalance that can leave them vulnerable to being taken advantage of or feeling unappreciated. Boundaries, on the other hand, are the limits we set to protect our emotional, physical, and mental well-being. They are not walls that shut others out, but guidelines that help us maintain healthy and respectful relationships. For many nice people, setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable or even selfish. They may worry that saying no or expressing their needs will lead to rejection or conflict. As a result, they often sacrifice their own comfort and priorities to accommodate others, hoping this will earn them love and acceptance. Over time, however, this self-neglect can lead to frustration, burnout, and a deep sense of loneliness. The absence of boundaries often results in relationships that are one-sided. When someone consistently prioritizes others over themselves, they attract individuals who may not reciprocate the same level of care and respect. These relationships can become draining, as the nice person invests time and energy without receiving the same in return. Eventually, they may feel unimportant or invisible, even within their closest connections. Developing self-worth and setting boundaries are acts of self-love that require courage and practice. They involve recognizing that being kind and being assertive are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they complement each other. When nice people learn to value themselves and communicate their needs, they create space for relationships that are balanced and nurturing. Boundaries serve as a way to teach others how to treat them, ensuring that their kindness is met with mutual respect rather than taken for granted. It's also important to understand that boundaries do not push people away. They strengthen relationships by fostering trust and clarity. When we respect ourselves enough to say no when necessary, we invite others to see us as whole individuals with our own needs and limits. This authenticity can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections. Cultivating self-worth and boundaries transforms niceness from a potential source of vulnerability into a powerful force for building healthy relationships. By embracing these principles, nice people can move beyond the fear of rejection and step into a life where their kindness is truly valued and reciprocated. Relationships thrive on balance, and one of the most important aspects of this balance is the energy of giving and receiving. This dynamic is at the core of all meaningful connections, ensuring that both parties feel valued, respected, and fulfilled. For nice people, however, the act of giving can often dominate their interactions, leaving little room for receiving. While generosity and kindness are admirable traits, an imbalance in this energy can lead to exhaustion, resentment, and even loneliness. Giving is a natural expression of care and love. It feels rewarding to help others, to offer support, and to contribute to their happiness. Nice people in particular often excel at this, finding joy in brightening someone else's day. However, when giving becomes excessive or one-sided, it can disrupt the harmony of a relationship. Constantly giving without receiving in return can drain a person's emotional resources, leaving them feeling unappreciated or even used. Over time, this imbalance can erode their sense of self-worth, as they may begin to feel that their value lies solely in what they can offer others. The ability to receive is equally important in sustaining healthy relationships, yet it is an area where many nice people struggle. Receiving requires vulnerability. It means acknowledging your needs, accepting help, and trusting that others want to support you just as you support them. For some, this can feel uncomfortable. They may fear being seen as needy or weak, or they may have internalized the belief that they must always be self-sufficient. As a result, they might deflect compliments, downplay their achievements, or refuse offers of assistance even when they need it most. This reluctance to receive not only deprives them of the joy and support they deserve, but also limits the opportunities for others to express their care and gratitude. The energy of giving and receiving must flow freely in both directions to nurture healthy connections. When this balance is maintained, it creates a sense of mutual respect and reciprocity. Each person feels valued for who they are, not just for what they can provide. This equilibrium fosters deeper intimacy and trust, as both parties contribute to and benefit from the relationship equally. For nice people, finding this balance often begins with self-awareness. It's important to recognize the patterns that drive their tendency to overgive. Are they giving out of genuine kindness, or are they motivated by a fear of rejection or a need for approval? By addressing these underlying motivations, they can start to shift their behavior in a way that honors both themselves and others. Learning to receive is also a crucial step. This involves practicing gratitude and allowing others to give without feeling guilty or undeserving. Receiving is not about taking advantage of others, it is about embracing the love and support that is freely offered. By opening themselves to receive, nice people not only enrich their own lives but also empower others to experience the joy of giving. The energy of giving and receiving is a dance of balance and harmony. When nice people understand this dynamic and embrace it fully, they can cultivate relationships that are truly nourishing, where their kindness is met with equal care and appreciation. In this balance, loneliness fades, replaced by connections that uplift and sustain them. One of the silent challenges nice people often face in their relationships is the issue of misaligned expectations, which can create an emotional disconnect over time. Nice people are naturally inclined to prioritize others, often going out of their way to accommodate and please. While this is rooted in good intentions, it can sometimes lead to an unspoken expectation that their kindness and effort will be reciprocated in equal measure. When this does not happen, it can result in feelings of disappointment, frustration, and even isolation. Misaligned expectations occur when one person assumes that their actions will be understood and appreciated in the way they intend, while the other person may not fully recognize or respond to these efforts. For nice people, their constant giving and accommodating may seem like clear signals of their care and dedication. However, others may perceive these actions differently, perhaps even taking them for granted or viewing them as just part of the relationship dynamic. This gap between intention and perception can create emotional tension that neither party may openly address. Nice people also often avoid expressing their own needs and desires, either out of fear of burdening others or because they are so focused on fulfilling the needs of those around them. This self-imposed silence can lead to a sense of invisibility, as others may not even realize what the nice person truly values or desires. Over time, this lack of communication can create an emotional disconnect, as the nice person feels unacknowledged or misunderstood, while the other party remains unaware of the underlying dissatisfaction. A factor contributing to misaligned expectations is the assumption that kindness and effort will naturally foster deeper emotional bonds. While kindness is essential for healthy relationships, it is not always sufficient to build genuine intimacy. Relationships require open communication, mutual vulnerability, and shared experiences. When nice people rely solely on their acts of giving to strengthen connections, they may unintentionally neglect these other elements, leading to relationships that feel surface level or unbalanced. The reluctance of nice people to set boundaries can exacerbate the problem. Without clear boundaries, they may continue to give excessively, hoping to bridge the gap and align expectations through sheer effort. However, this often backfires, as the other party may grow accustomed to the dynamic and fail to recognize the imbalance. This cycle can perpetuate feelings of emotional disconnect and reinforce the nice person's sense of loneliness. Breaking free from this pattern requires self-awareness and intentional action. Nice people must first recognize the importance of voicing their needs and setting realistic expectations in their relationships. It is not enough to give and hope for understanding. True connection comes from open dialogue and mutual respect. By expressing their feelings and desires, they give others the opportunity to meet them halfway, fostering relationships that are more aligned and fulfilling. Misaligned expectations and emotional disconnect are not insurmountable challenges. When nice people learn to balance their giving nature with self-respect and honest communication, they can create relationships that are both meaningful and reciprocal. This shift allows them to experience deeper connections where their kindness is truly valued and their emotional needs are met. Nice people often prioritize harmony in their relationships, striving to avoid conflict at all costs. While this inclination stems from a genuine desire to maintain peace, it can come at the expense of their authenticity. The fear of conflict leads many nice individuals to suppress their true thoughts, feelings, and preferences, creating an emotional divide that can leave them feeling misunderstood and disconnected. Over time, this avoidance of conflict and suppression of self can contribute to a sense of loneliness, even within their closest relationships. The fear of conflict often arises from a belief that disagreements or confrontations will lead to rejection, anger, or a breakdown in the relationship. Nice people, valuing their connections deeply, may go to great lengths to prevent such outcomes. They might agree to things they don't want, avoid expressing differing opinions, or downplay their own needs to keep the peace. While this strategy may seem effective in the short term, it undermines the foundation of a healthy relationship, which relies on honesty, trust, and mutual understanding. When nice people suppress their true selves, they inadvertently create a version of themselves that others interact with, a version that is agreeable, accommodating, and conflict-free. However, this constructed persona does not reflect the full spectrum of who they are. As a result, they may feel unseen or unrecognized, even when surrounded by people who appear to care for them. This discrepancy between their inner reality and outer interactions fosters a sense of isolation, as their relationships fail to connect with the core of who they truly are. Avoiding conflict also denies nice people the opportunity to address and resolve issues that may be causing them discomfort or dissatisfaction. Conflict, when approached constructively, is a natural and necessary part of any relationship. It allows individuals to express their perspectives, set boundaries, and work through differences in a way that strengthens the connection. By avoiding these moments of honest communication, nice people miss out on the growth and depth that can emerge from resolving conflicts together. Instead, unresolved tensions linger beneath the surface, creating a silent rift that widens over time. Suppressed authenticity also prevents others from truly knowing the nice person. When their true feelings and desires remain hidden, those around them may struggle to understand their needs or offer genuine support. This can lead to frustration for both parties. The nice person feels unheard and unfulfilled, while their loved ones may feel confused or disconnected. The absence of authenticity weakens the relationship, as it becomes difficult to build a bond based on mutual honesty and vulnerability. Breaking free from this pattern requires courage and self-compassion. Nice people must recognize that conflict, when handled with respect and care, is not something to fear, but an opportunity to strengthen relationships. By embracing their authenticity and expressing their true selves, they invite others to connect with them on a deeper level. This does not mean abandoning their kindness or sensitivity, rather, it means balancing these qualities with honesty and self-respect. The fear of conflict and suppression of authenticity are obstacles that can be overcome with intention and practice. When nice people allow themselves to be fully seen and heard, they create space for relationships that honor their true selves. In this authenticity, they can find connections that are both meaningful and fulfilling, replacing loneliness with a sense of belonging and acceptance. Emotional independence is a crucial aspect of any healthy relationship, and for nice people, it can be a vital key to overcoming loneliness and maintaining their sense of self. Emotional dependence often arises when individuals place too much of their emotional well-being in the hands of others, relying on external validation, approval, or affection to feel worthy and content. While it's natural to seek love and support from others, emotional independence allows individuals to cultivate a strong inner foundation, ensuring that their happiness and self-worth are not entirely contingent on others. For nice people, developing this sense of emotional autonomy is essential to forming balanced and fulfilling relationships. The challenge for many nice individuals is that their nurturing nature often leads them to invest heavily in the emotional needs of others. They may derive a sense of value from being needed, going above and beyond to help others or make them happy. While this is a beautiful quality, it can sometimes lead to emotional dependence, where their self-esteem becomes reliant on being liked or accepted by those around them. This dependency can lead to a cycle of emotional exhaustion, as they pour all of their energy into others, only to feel unfulfilled or overlooked when their own emotional needs are not reciprocated. Emotional dependence also makes it difficult for nice people to assert themselves or set boundaries. They may fear that expressing their own needs will lead to conflict or rejection, so they suppress their feelings in an effort to keep others happy. However, this dynamic leads to an unhealthy relationship with oneself, as nice people become so attuned to the desires of others that they lose sight of their own needs and desires. Without emotional independence, they are more likely to become passive in their relationships, allowing others to take the lead in dictating the course of interactions. This can create an imbalance where they feel like they are always giving but never receiving. Cultivating emotional independence involves learning to validate oneself from within, rather than relying on external sources for affirmation. This means developing the ability to comfort, encourage, and reassure oneself even in moments of doubt or loneliness. Nice people must recognize that their worth does not depend on the approval or attention of others. They are worthy and valuable in their own right, independent of how others perceive them. Building this internal sense of security allows them to engage in relationships from a place of strength, where they are not afraid to express their true needs, desires, and boundaries. An emotionally independent person is also better equipped to navigate difficult situations and conflicts in relationships. Instead of fearing rejection or abandonment, they are more likely to approach challenges with a sense of self-assurance, knowing that their happiness does not hinge on the outcome. This emotional stability creates healthier, more resilient connections, as both parties are able to express themselves openly and honestly without fear of jeopardizing the relationship. Emotional independence empowers nice people to step into relationships where they can both give and receive equally. It allows them to engage with others from a place of authenticity, self-respect, and strength, ensuring that they are not sacrificing their own well-being for the sake of others. By cultivating emotional independence, they can break free from the patterns that lead to loneliness and instead create relationships that are mutually supportive, balanced, and fulfilling. This sense of emotional autonomy leads to a deeper connection with oneself, fostering inner peace and confidence that will attract more meaningful and lasting relationships. Thanks for watching. Louise Hay.